After a 4-game losing streak, what did you emphasize to your team coming into today, and did they accomplish what you wanted?
Yeah, obviously I thought they played really hard, for the entire game. Like, we haven't had bad first halves in that 4-game losing streak. We've had bad second halves. We've had a couple of really bad starts to the second half. And then obviously we haven't had great finishes to the second half. But it hasn't been something, it's been a little like deceiving for us because you come into halftime and you're not down 12, right? You're not down 9, you're up 12, you're up 1, you're down 2, whatever it might be in those 4 games. And then we just haven't got that start, and that's what we wanted to do a better job. I thought we took care of the basketball the whole night, but we just didn't embrace the physicality on the glass. Like, we got manhandled in the first half when shots went up. I thought Cam really gave us a spark in the second half, defensive rebounding. We've had success in transition, pushing the basketball, and but if you can't rebound the basketball, you're not going to get into transition. So I thought our activity on defense was good in the first half. We forced them into 8 turnovers probably in the first 10, 11 minutes. And then they settled into the game. It's like they settled into the game after that and did a better job taking it over. And then in the second half for us, we settled into it and did a better job rebounding. But it's not as bad as it seems. It's never as good as it seems. I thought our guys played hard and competed, and tough game, well coached. He's a really good coach. They're very physical, and they put you in binds, and they make it difficult. So I thought this was a great win for us, and hopefully a confidence booster to get on a winning streak instead of a losing streak.
The offensive rebounding in particular, I think they were up 9-0 at halftime, and you guys win at 16-9. And he only had I think 6, but just the way you guys were converting off of those,
right,
seemed to just that was where the momentum built.
Yeah, I thought we were just more active, and so getting some of those offensive rebounds were more chase down type rebounds, kind of like Braden steals, just being aware, coming on somebody's blind side when they don't see you. And, it was huge because we'd have been in a much better position, obviously, at halftime if we could rebound. And it's just something that we have to keep working on. We have to be quick to the basketball. Sometimes it's positioning. We knew we were going to be up against it with switching. We were not going to let Daly and Bilodeau pop and just get open shots. So, but with that, there's a downside to it. You got to be physical. You got to knock them out of the post. You got to hold your low man, and you got to have discipline with it. A couple times we just, for whatever reason, we got behind them then. You got to make them throw it over the top. Then your low man's got to be able to get that steal for you. But you also got to put pressure on the ball. So those 3 people have to stay connected. Keep pressure on the ball, knock out the post, and then play. But if they're going to skip it and go, then you got to get out of it and then be able to break their rhythm so they don't shoot, and then everybody's got to sprint to help. But we knew if shots go up and we're in front of them, we're obviously not in great rebound position. That wasn't the backbone of everything, why we didn't get rebounds. I just thought they were quicker, whether it was Stefanovic or any other guys. I just thought they were quicker to the ball in the first half, and then obviously I thought we did a much better job in the second half.
Can you just speak broadly to your team scrap in the final 10 minutes and what that says about their response to adversity?
Yeah, it's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to, get into tight games and right there and enjoy it. And embrace the toughness of a game. Embrace that and just, keep doing your job and keep playing. And the thing that's really held us back more than anything has been when we turn it over and then when we don't do our job defensively. And I'm not talking about containing the dribble or things of that nature that you're always trying to do. And when we do our job, we're way more successful. And any coach will tell you that because you disconnect what you're doing. And so it's not actually one play. It's more than one play that leads to it because, it's like missing something or missing class or doing something. After you miss it one time, boy, it's a lot easier to miss it again. Then it's a lot easier to miss it that third time. And then it just keeps growing, right? And then all of a sudden you've got a lot of misses right there and you just get fired from your job. But more than anything, it can build the other way. When you keep doing your job and then they make tough shots, live with it. Like, understand you got to live with some of those tough shots, but you can't put people to the free throw line. You can't allow layups. And so that for us is what we got to hang our hat on. We got to hang our hat on doing our job, embracing the toughness and the physicality of the game, then just keep making plays and having fun with it. Because when you have fun with it, you're going to be more loose on the offensive end. You're going to shoot better.
Matt, after the struggles you guys have had the last 2 weeks, just how important was it for your players to kind of come together and take the responsibility and get that ownership and the leadership responsibility?
Yeah, it was huge. Just building confidence, like just feeling good about yourself. Like, nobody likes to lose. We have competitive guys on our team. They've had a lot of success. So this is the first time anybody has had 4 games losing that are playing on our team. So I don't care who you are as a coach. I don't care who you are as a player. You have self-doubt. All right, and then when you lose games, like now you start to look into it, but you gotta stick to what you're doing. And when you stick to what you're doing and you stay connected and you fight, you're gonna grow and you're gonna get out of some things. And so hopefully we can build and just get better at it. You gotta relearn some things, and but I definitely think this will help us and help. I know it'll help us and it'll help our confidence, because this was not easy. This was not easy. This was a great win. Guys had to make plays. Guys had to make tough plays. Make huge shots, and because that's a really good team. That's a team that can go far in the NCAA tournament.
Matt, when you're scoring 20 to 25 points a night, you're a natural leader, but how necessary was it that Trey grew as a kind of a vocal leader and a guy that these guys could go to with questions and things of that sort, that,
Yeah.
the type of guy that calls these guys into a players-only
Right.
meeting?
Well, it's got to be able to. It's no different than meeting with a therapist or like meeting with the counselor, things of that nature. Like, you can't interfere, and you got to trust your leaders. And because that's when that happens and you interfere, it doesn't allow it to be whole, and then you're not going to get anywhere with that. You're not going to make improvements. So the one thing is, when you call meetings and you do things as an individual like that, like, you got to own your stuff to start with. And once you own your stuff, now you can grow. Now it's easy to speak. And so I always say about that as a coach, is like, I got to fix my shit before we fix yours. All right, and then that's just what it is. And so if you take ownership as a player, like, because the coach takes ownership, now you're going to grow, and now you're going to get better. But just watch film and be honest. But when you have meetings like that, like, those are better. It's just like, we've grown into a handful of times of having player-led teams. And sometimes they look at that as a weakness of a coach. It's actually a strength of his coach, because you're empowering your players. But you can't empower people that don't do what they're supposed to. You've got to empower the people that put their foot forward, they own their stuff, they get better, they want to help Purdue win. We had a couple guys play the whole game tonight, and they normally do it anyways, but they played and they were functional, and they battled through fatigue, and they battled through, locking horns with those guys. That's a good team, man. That's a good team. Like, if a football game broke out, like, we're not winning that. We are not winning that game. But there's no reason we should fumble, though, right? Shouldn't then get interceptions, right? Like, take care of it. Like, learn to play and play to your strengths. And when you do those things and you have 9 turnovers, you're giving yourself a chance. And sure, you struggled on the glass, but you gave yourself a chance. And when we do that and we have 9 turnovers, or we're in that ballpark, we're normally pretty successful. Go ahead.
Matt, Braden sets the all-time assist record as a junior here. Just him, his career, what he's done for you guys
Yeah.
through this point.
Well, just first of all, congratulations to Bruce Parkinson. Anytime you can be at a great basketball school like Purdue and hold an award that long, no different than Joe Barry Carroll last year and Rick Mount last year, when Zach Edey, broke those records. Like, make sure, like, you give that just due to the people that came before you, right? And, Bruce Parkinson was a great player here and was a very successful player. But to hold awards, honors or records or something, anything like that long is pretty cool, because records are made to be broken. But for someone to do it in their junior year, is pretty cool. But no, he's got a knack, man. He works hard. He's a good player. But he walked into this. A lot of times people want to give you credit. Like he walked in here passing. He's got a feel and he's got a read. Comes from a basketball family, so just happy for him. When you go through this and you're one of the leaders and you're one of the best players, you're one of the best players in the country, like, you know, you take it personal. It's hard. You know, it's people don't understand that. Like, it's not, the people that get the most shit are normally the best players. Like, look at the NBA. Like, you got all those guys that are great. All they want to do is compare each other. Like, who cares? Like, just win the game. They're all great. They're all great. Like, you know, give them all their flowers, right? Like, but like, there's always that comparison, and that's, you know. But for him, man, he's stayed with it. He's stayed with it. Fletcher, Trey Kaufman, they've stayed with it, and that's what we need. Like, we need those guys, you know, at the front of the battle, and you know, fighting people and doing the right things, and just helping Purdue win like they've done their whole careers.
Hey, Matt, what's it like for you this season? You're typically the team with all the big guys, and you're looking out on the floor, and you're seeing guys that are bigger than Purdue. How big of an adjustment has that been for you this year to be doing that?
Yeah, I think it's totally ridiculous. Like, obviously you know the other scope of it, no different than like a prosecuting attorney and a defense attorney. Like, you know, some of the best defense attorneys are people that started off in the prosecutor's office for 7-8 years. They understand the other side. So like with Mara, when he came in, we spent a lot of time for Mara, both how to attack him and then how to defend him. I know it didn't look like it there at the end, but they're not going to beat us with twos at the end when you're up 12 points. We're just making sure they weren't going to get threes. We're going to play them one-on-one. And then if you know, they wanted to get those and we shoot free throws, then like, so be it. But yeah, it's a little different. It's a little different. Our guy is really efficient in how he plays, but then he's not, you know, he's not that as a defender or a rebounder. You know, I thought he did some really good things tonight defensively, but like, it's hard for him when he's got to carry the load like that and play 40 minutes, but it's not, it seems to not bother him when he has the ball in scoring position. Like, you know, the guys